All right. We are here for what today? We're here to finally talk about the coronavirus and what's been going on in the collective and what is happening moving forward from this point on. We now are bringing it to our awareness, and I've had a lot of people emailing me and asking me, what do you think about the coronavirus? What do you think about the coronavirus? And I've been avoiding it. I've been completely ignoring it. I didn't want to feed into the fear of it and amplify it, and just waiting and watching to see when it would go away. And it started building and it started building. And more people that I follow, more light workers, were talking about it and acknowledging it and giving their opinion and shining their light on it, and recognizing the slow build of the fear surrounding the entire situation. And the more that it was brought into that awareness, because I do pay attention to all of that. I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. I am not aware of the rest of the world, really. I'm aware of our ascending world. But the more they started talking about it, the more I was just like, okay, I mean, I do have an opinion about it. And I definitely feel like we are more powerful than fear, and we don't want to breed even more of that. And so I'm aware of it, but I'm not feeding into it. And I'm just holding the light and holding the space for it. And then when I think it was this week, something got canceled at my daughter's school. And they were saying that they were given the advice to not have people congregate, have large groups congregate in one area. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is where we are right now. This is what's happening. I didn't even want to tune into it, but it's almost like the universe was saying, it's time to start paying attention. It's time to start paying attention now. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. It's all of these fear-mongering kind of things that have been leading up to this. And, you know, so many different situations are exacerbated, and people feed into the fear, and it goes away. It ends up going away. And the universe was just like, now we're putting it in your face, because now it's time to tune in. Now that I've done a ton of healing work through Mercury retrograde, which we're going to talk about, since that now has passed, and our energetic body has been built up and cleared of massive things, we now are being called into action, and the universe is saying, okay, now the shit's going down. And now we are gearing up for not war, but this expansion that is happening. And so I'm in the US, and the entire state of Maryland decided to close schools for the next 2 weeks, starting on Monday. And I couldn't ignore it anymore. So Lloyd and I were talking about it, and tuned into and just started doing some searches about what is happening right now, and what does it look like, and what does it look like in the rest of the world, and what's going on in Italy. And I was very aware that my kids were very sensitive to it. My daughter is very sensitive to the energy of it, and she's scared. She was scared of us talking about it. And I checked my email, I think, and there was something in my email that was from the Shift Network, and they were talking about how very real this is and how important it is for us to do everything that we can to socially distance ourselves in order to stop the spread of this virus, to really lean into what it is that's happening and the actions that the governments and the different countries, especially China, are doing right now, and lean into that. And it's important to not ignore that anymore and say, to kind of dismiss it as, oh, they're just leaning into the fear. That's ridiculous. Why would we need to go and buy all of the toilet paper? But that it's actually important to do that, and we need to do it now. We should have done it weeks ago in order to slow the spread of it. So I think that I texted you secretly so that my daughter didn't hear us. And I said, what if it's really as bad as they say that it is? What if this? So now with that one email, I was completely tuned into and tapped into the energy of this shift that's happening now. The shift literally the shift network. And we started talking about it. It was almost like a complete download of information. Like, oh, okay, now that you're paying attention, you have the space for this. This is what we need to start doing now. And we kind of kicked into high gear. It was like, all right, we need to be talking about this. We need to. This is what we've been training for. Right?
Last year's preparation have been for this. We are anchoring love and peace and calm into the physical plane. Why collectively we go through this shift.
Right. So what I did was I really tapped into it, and I'm obviously a super sensitive and powerful empath and light worker. And I tapped into it, and I kind of got lost in a rabbit hole a little bit about everything that's going on, the fear that's going on, all the grocery stores. And it very, very quickly got to be too much. And it's everywhere, and people are talking about it nonstop. And I was reading as much as I possibly could. And I could tell the energy of it was getting to be too overwhelming. I could feel in my heart chakra, my heart was very, very heavy, and I could feel just an overload of that energy. And it was brought to my attention that, okay, I've tapped in enough to get the knowledge that I need right now to shift into gear, to understand what the dense fear, darker, heavier energy looks like, in order to know what to do on our side to shift that and to be balancing it out for ourselves. They want us to lean in as much as we can and be able to see it, but not attach to it and do our own thing over here. So we started talking about and making connections to the way Mercury retrograde and the things that happened with us and with me during Mercury retrograde, especially after the Wayfinder video that I had posted, and how we kind of experience things first. We kind of carve the path and we go through things, and then we notice that, okay, the rest of the collective is going through them, or the world then is going through them, so that we are able to light the way, show the way, say, okay, we just went through this. This is what's going to happen. And this is what you guys need to do to prepare or to build your system. If you haven't seen my Wayfinder video, go over and watch that now. Stop this recording, go back over and watch that. If you doubt whether or not you're a light worker, I think in the title of the video, it said Lightworkers. If you, for a second, think, that's interesting to me, you're a light worker, and go over there and watch that, and let's go. It's time to kick into high gear. Right? I can feel people right now actually like, well, we want to hear what he has to say. She talks a lot. We want to hear what he has to say. That was kind of like just the introduction of where this all was leading, how we got to the point where we are right now in this video. But is there anything else that you wanted to add to all of that, the way I described it?
No, like I said, it is happening. We can't ignore our reality. We are obviously from higher realms. We're bringing down higher consciousness onto the planet, but we are here in our physical bodies. The same thing that affects them out there can affect us if we're not looking after our energetic body. So we need to be aware of what's going on, but we need to remain detached from it the best we can. That keeps us holding love for ourselves and everybody else, compassion, and then we're able to help. And that's why we're here. Physically help, and obviously energetically help.
We're going to get into more about how do we do that after we talk about some of these things. But okay, so I have some notes over here too, because there's so much stuff that we were talking about. Mercury retrograde. It was brutal. I don't usually give a shit about Mercury retrograde. It doesn't usually affect me. I mean, I understand the effect of it and what it's doing for for me and, you know, and the world around us and technology and all that stuff. But this one was like a freight train. And I think the last video that I did was the manifestation one, where I was like, hey guys, guess what I did? I just manifested the money that I needed to treat myself and to take care of myself and to and to fulfill a want that I had. And I think that was like Friday night or something. And I said, this weekend I'm going to get my hair did. And the next morning I woke up and someone had actually emailed me and said something about, I had posted something earlier that week too on my community or on the community tab on the channel, that said something about being exhausted. That week, the energy was just so exhausting. Everyone was talking about how tired they were and how exhausted they were. And it was definitely a collective thing. But someone emailed me and said, I see a little bit more than that in you. You're actually in some kind of, what did she say, babe? She said I was in some kind of frozen prison or something. There was a dark force, an energy that was attached to me that I wasn't seeing, and it's what was draining me. And so that Saturday morning, I woke up and I felt very, very, very drained. I think that the recognition of noticing what she had said and considering that for myself and having not seen it, and then just seeing it with someone else's awareness was enough to bring it to the surface for me. And I was like, oh God, right? And so it slowly got worse and worse and worse. I went and I was talking to Lloyd about it, and he said, go and treat yourself, go take care of yourself, go get your hair done like you said that you were going to, and just relax and let other people take care of you and pamper you. And I started to, as we were talking about it, I started to recognize that energy that was coming up. It felt like an entity, and I could hear him almost right here on my shoulder. It was definitely an attachment, a curse from a past life, without getting way too much into it. It was definitely like curse energy attached to me from being owned at some point by church energy. You know, there's lifetimes of sexual slavery, all of those things. There were threads that were attached that have almost built up and built up and built up this dark, heavy, demon kind of energy that was keeping me imprisoned. It was keeping me enslaved, really. So I got my hair done and I hated it. It was not what I wanted. But I recognized that the reason that I was there was probably because of the hairdresser. She was asking me all these questions about what I do, and we were kind of digging into her life a little bit, and I was giving myself energetically, that's just what I do. I'm just a constant light worker. I'm a constant teacher and a guide, and I can recognize that she's awakening now, and she's asking me all these questions, and I'm just freely giving, and I'm getting more and more and more tired the entire time. And I get home and I was upset about it not being the way that I wanted it to be. And it wasn't anything that I told her I wanted it to be. Maybe she was distracted because we were talking about her the entire time. But it was very, very heavy. And man, I had a hard time that night. Then I woke up the next morning and I felt like somebody died. I could not get out of bed. I was sobbing. It was that energy of being stuck in place, and I just could not function. People were texting me. I'm pretty sure that my mom called that morning or something. I was like, oh my God, nothing makes any difference to me right now. It was as if it was the energy as if somebody had died. And I was in the energy of my 7-year-old inner child who experienced the very first death that she ever experienced. It was my babysitter when I was 7, and she was very, very important in my life, in an important transitional phase in my life. And I never really because my family was going through so much, I never really had the chance to mourn and really grieve and understand as a 7-year-old what just happened. The energy of this person just left my physical environment. And that Sunday morning when I got up, it was like she had died the night before or something. And I had to sit still, and I couldn't do anything at all. For almost the next week and a half, I could not do anything except sit on the couch. I had no energy for anything. There was times where I was staring at the wall for hours, just in a complete fog. It's like the energy of that oppressed heaviness, that grieving, it completely disconnected me from people. I went into complete hermit mode from source. I couldn't meditate. I didn't even want to meditate. I had just given up. It's almost like that energy was then taking me over because it came into my field, because I was aware of it in my field. It almost took me over and like possessed me. Not in a scary way. Looking back on it now, not in a scary way. In a, like, I needed to sit still and really allow myself to experience that grief. And I knew that major things were being removed from my energetic body to make space for very, very big things happening. It was still brutal the entire time. Lloyd and I triggered each other back and forth, and I realized
really hard, like I said, to see you like that was breaking my heart. Like I said, and there was nothing I could do to pull her out. Luckily, somebody approached Karen via the YouTube. So grateful, thankful for her reaching out and seeing that, because she really helped to release that energy from her field. So it was amazing.
I had people just, after that Wayfinder video, I had people reaching out to me just offering healing. And I was coming from a place of, I was very standoffish about it, because I don't know, I'm just always in teacher mode and guide mode and healer mode, where it's like, no, I'm okay. I have my support network. It was very separate. And I feel like a lot of that had to do with that frozen kind of energy that was around me. It was actually repelling the connection with people who were there to genuinely just help. They were guided to help come in and help heal what it was that I had going on. But I, without knowing it, had a shield up from that because of that heavier, dense energy. It felt like, looking at it now, that energy felt like this virus, this fear programming virus energy.
I mean, as healers and light workers, we all are slightly guilty of it. We get, because we're working on ourselves, we are nervous to let other people give us healings and take things. But we can't give all the time. We need to receive as well. We know we have to accept grace to us as well. We're giving it out all the time, and it's that trust now. We need to trust that the person that comes to us is for our greatest and highest good. That's our vibration. We're vibrating at this level, right? So they can come to us because they're on that vibration. So
right, and we tell people that all the time. Those of you that are guides and coaches and readers and stuff like that, we tell our clients and our people that all the time. But then when it comes to us, it's like, well, yeah, but I have my network of people. There's no separateness when it comes to someone who is guided to you in order to just help. There's a level of mistrust and unease that is that programming that we're looking to peel away. This was a big one too, looking back on it now, because it's what light workers are needing to lean into more now. Someone that is sent to you, especially in order to help build you up in a way that you didn't realize you needed, is so important, because of what we have going on and because of the role that you now are stepping into in helping to support the collective and what everyone is going through. You need those people. Not only do you need the ones who have been sent to you to help you, you need to be able to recognize and reach out for help, energetic support, any kind of energetic exchange, or just receiving energetically from someone else in order to build you up, because it is so needed. You need to maintain your energy in that way and recognize that reaching out for support in this network of light workers is so important right now. That was one of the lessons I think that I learned from that. And even during the session that we did with her, this energy just completely took me over. And I have never felt more disconnected. I've never felt more like just giving up. I just wanted to hang up the entire time. And you guys know that is not me. I am a warrior. I do my healing, and I do it so much that because I want that feeling of that release and it not being in my system anymore. I want it more than anything. And I did not want anything to do with it that day. I could tell how it just completely overtook me. Something was definitely released in that session. God love her. She battled it out. She seriously battled against whatever this density was, whatever this energy was. And I started to feel the effect of it just almost right away the next day. Once I let it integrate. There were a lot of light codes that needed to be integrated. Right? Anything else during that?
So yeah, like I said, to see Karen in that energy was heartbreaking. Like during this, it was like this attachment was fighting back against her even receiving the healing during the healing.
Yeah.
So it's like a separate energy. I was actually physically crying during it. It was so upsetting for me to see Karen that way. Like I say, but there are people out there who are genuinely offering their service, and what Spirit's saying is we're all individual, we're all unique, we have our own unique signatures that certain people need. So if you are called to do a healing for a certain person, don't hold back. If you're pulled, just lean into it, because there's something in you they need. We all do things differently. So we may all have learned similar systems, but we all do our own things with it. And each of our energetic signatures is different.
Yeah. That was exactly what I needed at the time, even as much as I battled back against it. Part of what this energy was doing also was a complete block between you and me. And it any time he would step in with any kind of, I don't know, just loving, supportive energy, it almost fueled it even more for me. And it brought up a lot of emotions and a lot of blockages. So it was really important that we got down to the heart of it. And the universe kept me there and kept me there and kept me there all the way through Mercury retrograde. It was it was probably the very last day of it when I started to feel like a normal human being again. Why do I tell you all about this? It's almost an example of what the universe, what the world is going through now. It's like we had to go through that first to be in an empathic experience that was the heaviest, darkest night of the soul that I've ever experienced, in order to understand what that heaviness feels like in the world right now, that hopelessness, that fear, that programming that tells us that everything is coming to a crashing halt, and I'm scared for the safety of me and my children and money, and what am I going to do about a job, and just like constant worry and fear of the unknown. That experience during Mercury retrograde, I feel like, is what has prepared us to lean into what's happening right now. So everyone around us is preparing to be home with their kids for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. We have no idea how long it's going to be. It's probably going to be a little bit longer than what they think it is right now. the unknown of that is something that people are trying to figure out. They're trying to understand the energy of it. They're worried about what's going to happen with their jobs. They're worried about how they're going to entertain their kids this entire time. The social distancing, the social separation is, I think, one of the hardest concepts for people to accept right now and actually implement, because it's just like, nah, I have a great immune system. You know, it doesn't seem to be affecting kids as severely as what it is to older people and stuff like that. So why do I need to not go to the store? Or why do I need to not go to the gas station? Can you talk about that a little bit?
So basically, like I say, the younger generations aren't bothered or affected so much, but you're still carrying it. So everywhere you go, everything you touch, everything you do, you're still spreading the virus around. So that's why the social isolation is important, because by isolating yourselves, you insulate yourself from the virus. And if we all actually lean into that rather than fighting against it, like letting your kids go out and play with all the other kids outside is counterproductive. They may as well be at school.
Right.
Just being sensible about it.
Right. Right. So, all right. So one of the things that I realized when we were going through this is how, and I'm pretty sure that you brought this to my attention, was how many times and in how many little tiny ways I had been giving my energy away without replenishing it, or in even exchange, or just replenishing it in a way that was not depleting me. Like the day that I got my hair done, I was supposed to be there to just be pampered, to relax energetically, to not give of myself, because this thing is draining my energy anyway. I need to replenish. I need to just bask and be treated. And I gave my energy away to her that entire time, because I thrive on the knowledge that someone else is absorbing this and awakening, but I didn't have it to give. And I give in little ways like that too.
Social media, social media and sites like that is, you're always like, if someone's asking a question, you're always you're just giving away something you like, giving it away.
Yeah.
And it's taken away all the time. So it's just mindful.
Yep. Comments, when you comment on someone else's post because you're looking for support or you're looking for resonance, and then you come across someone's comment on a post that you resonate with and you have knowledge of and you just went through yourself, you want to give that energy to them and support them and help them, and then maybe they private message you later, and then you end up holding them up, but you yourself haven't replenished your energy enough to be able to be full and then also have enough to give. So it's little bits of your energy that have been eaten away for a long time now. And also we're doing massive healing to many different things throughout that entire time. There has never been one time where we sat back and completely replenished our energy and said, we have been through a massive upheaval since, oh my God, for the last 8 months, like 2 years, however long it's been for you. And so we are slowly depleted and not realizing it. And it was just like a big slap in the face, and everything was ground to a complete halt. And the universe set it up that way because I didn't have any sessions. I had no clients lined up. I had no work going on at all, conveniently. And they just told me to sit still. It was like what's going on right now with the distancing. So the isolation and the social, physical distancing, this is what we're talking about, the physical distancing. Keeping yourself in your own physical space to allow the world out there to take care of things the way that they're taking care of things. They're telling us that it's safer to contain the flow, the spread of the virus, to slow it down so that healthcare and hospitals and things like that don't get overloaded. They're telling us that that's the best thing to do, and they've been telling us this, and now they have forced it on us because the kids are not in school, and they're saying, okay, we need to lean into that and allow them to do the physical side of it. So if we're talking about overall health is a combination of mind, body, and spirit, we're letting them take care of the body part, and let's sit inside and distance ourselves physically from other people, and take their word for it and lean into that, and let us take care of the spiritual and mind connection to this, the health of this collective right now. It's necessary for empaths and light workers to do this and to lean into it. If I hadn't done it for a week and a half during Mercury retrograde, if I hadn't been forced to do it, I would not have been able to replenish my energy and recognize that I was so depleted I couldn't even see it anymore. It's necessary for empaths to call back, intentionally call back all of those energies that you've been slowly giving away and giving away and giving away in little ways, right?
Very much, like you say, and we don't realise, and a lot of the time we're not cutting these energetic cords either, so we're leaving it open, so it's constantly draining. Once we start giving, that is being taken and absorbed from us. If we're not energetically cord cutting every day, we should be cord cutting every day. There's certain interactions with people where you know you need to do it because you'll be with them for a short space of time, and it's like, oh yeah, you feel heavy, you know it straight away. So you physically, even if it's just with your hand, just quickly cutting across your body, just get rid of it, take that away, and then obviously you can replenish yourself.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that. I wasn't doing that, and I definitely wasn't doing that with you and I. And I think it's really important to be doing that with the people that you love the most too. And when we're talking about twins and counterparts and soulmates and stuff like that, they're the person that you almost need to be doing it, the cord cutting and attachment cuttings to, more often than anybody else, because because of the resonance in the energy between us. Cords and attachments are there that we haven't seen yet that need to be cut, but then there's also ones that are created all the time by triggering experiences that we go through during healings. And just everyday stuff. They're created all the time, and they need to be severed all the time. I think people have a fear, a lot of times, especially twin flames, have a fear of cutting any kind of cords between their partner, their counterpart.
There was it could, ours accumulated in, we've been in a cycle of beating the shit out of each other karmically, knocking all our karmic patterns are really ingrained.
Not on purpose, but like guided.
Yeah, it was unconscious, but we were literally just going through this, like we'd have a couple of days it was okay, and then something else, and it's just literally wave after wave, and it was basically stripping us back completely from the energies we were born in, our environment, this sort of thing, seeing everything, why these things were triggering us, and it just became really, really dense in the Karen. It was real heavy, and we were struggling to see past it because of the triggers and how we're reacting. Yes, we'd see it and we'd get past it, but because of the trigger, we would not speak to each other nicely. So we were creating more karma in the physical plane for like past lives and other trauma from other people that we've taken on.
Right.
That was attached, and we were then attaching that to each other. So
yeah, I don't think that we realized how much we imprinted those traumas on each other and on our, the energy of our connection. It's almost like it was completely shrouded in the triggered trauma energy that we were pulling out of each other. We weren't releasing all of that in the meantime, and we didn't really have that much underneath of it, like just pure joy or loving energy to draw off of. It was just being shrouded.
So it sort of accumulated. It built up to a point where nothing felt. It just didn't feel right anymore. It was just like it was just heavy. It was a straining us both energetically. So,
and I think that's the point where most twin flames go into separation.
And we knew that was what we needed. With me and Karen, obviously we're both energy healers, so we know what it is, but it's still very hard to detach from that in your physical reality. So we know this is about past lives, it's about other energies that we've held since we were born, different templates of what a male figure is, usually from a father, template from a mother, which is usually your mother's energy, and these figures, they play out all the way through your life, and you don't realize that. So we're projecting onto our counterpart this, how we see the feminine, how we see so then we're only seeing that coming back at us. And it was really hard, really heavy, and it accumulated in us saying we knew we had to take some time apart. And that was really hard because we were like best friends, we're doing everything together, like soldiering through it, and it was like, it was heartbreaking to even do it, but we consciously knew we had to do it, and we actually together did a meditation to cut all our cords. It was getting to the point where it was like, are we even twins? It's getting this, are we just in this karmic, are we just karma, are we just beating it?
Right.
And the release from that, doing that cutting all cords was amazing. All of a sudden just brought everything back to you. And for me, well, it went for me, I was suddenly energized, and straight away, Karen, that's when you sort of started going into
that's when it slowly got worse and worse and worse and worse.
Dark night for Karen, but for me, I lifted energetically, and I could see it all so clearly, like that. It was almost the next day I could just see everything for what it was, and then it was like, right, this is what we need to heal now.
Well, it's like so I was talking the other day in my live about Frozen 2 and about the dam breaking and getting the message that that's what was coming, and that is what was necessary in order to just completely open up the heart space and be just completely just leaned into unconditional love and integrating that. It's almost like for you, that tower moment or that dam release happened immediately, and then you had the slow build into like an integrated energy. Mine was the slow, just like it was building to the tower. I didn't have the tower, I think, until, I don't know, when Mercury retrograde came. And I think it was that morning that I woke up and I felt like someone had died, that I realized that was definitely my tower moment. And it was a complete unleashing. My ears ringing right now on the masculine side. It was almost like the death of myself. It's almost like I had cut the cord with the version of myself that was attached to that trauma victim energy. It was the dark feminine. It was the oppressed feminine. And she had to die. And I had to let her go. I had to grieve her. I had to grieve what I had been through that entire time. And it was massive. And it's like, exactly, it's just a mirror of what's going on right now. I find so many correlations to what's happening in the world right now, to what we went through. And never left me the whole time, no matter what I looked like or said or did. We always came back to the 0 point, that is this my energy, or is this trigger energy, or is this, what is the the depth of our connection. When we peel away this and we peel away that and we take time away from each other and we go through this and we just have this magnetic connection that we can't get away from, we just had to peel away the rest of the stuff, get down to the heart of it, and we just needed to be broken down first to do that. So that's what I was getting, was for a lot of twin flames right now, the essence of letting go of their twin or their attachment to their twin is so important. It's what everybody else is going through too. Letting go of the structure of how they operate on a daily basis, and everything that they've always known and built up to right now has completely and suddenly been drastically changed. And there's so much fear behind it. It has always been triggering to twin flames, or however you resonate with it, to let go or to sever all attachments to the outcome or to this person or to how, you believe something to be. It's just representative of what we have going on right now. Where was I before that? Before we started talking about that? I was talking about calling back energies. Okay, so calling back energies, that's what it was. Part of the thing that we didn't realize is that we had given away energy so much to each other. Every time I would go through something or some sort of trauma energy would come up for me to be healed, he would kick into high gear and go into healer mode and divine masculine mode and want to be there for me and offer his energy to me and say, what can I do to help? And what I needed from him was for him to analyze and look at what it was bringing up for him too, because he's the mirror. And so when you work on your own healing, that actually helps me. And when you talk to me about what you're getting for yourself, it helps to bring insight to what it could be for me also. And instead of offering all of your energy and overloading and focusing on me, focusing on you helps me. And we were talking it out and doing this together. But what helped the most was when he would do that. When he didn't do that and he was giving away too much energy to me, it wasn't as helpful. It was an overload almost. And that trigger trauma energy that I was in would just build. The emotional energy of it would build and build and build and build. And I would be backed into a corner, really, like, this is not releasing. We would get stuck and we would just be like, we would need to separate from each other and just be like, all right, we need to come back to this. And I would realize that it was something coming from his side also. And that's just an example of him giving that energy away. A lot of times I will see things that are coming up for him, or I can feel the energy coming up in his field. And I'm such a strong seer that I'm like, I'm getting the message that it's this for you. This is I'm seeing this and I'm seeing that. And he was not always in a place to receive that. And I wasn't really asking, can I tell you what I'm getting about this? It's just like, that's just what we do back and forth. But if he's not in a place to receive it, I'm giving my energy away and he is not as open to it. And so I'm giving it away and it's not being received or whatever. It was just another example of how we give our energy away to each other. So calling back the energy, a lot of times during this Mercury retrograde time period when all of that stuff was going on, one of the things that was most helpful is not doing anything, just being there, just being present, being still with me, meeting me where I am. I'm very, very sad and lost right now, and I have no idea what's going on. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't need answers. I don't need you to do anything. I don't even know what you could do. You don't know what you could do. Trying to figure it out does not help either. It just puts out this resistance. I just need you to sit there with me. Just sit in it. I could not go anywhere else anyway. So if you want to do what's best for me and not drain your own energy, just be there with me. It's almost like he was from across the world, just sitting on the couch next to me and holding me. That was the best thing that could be done. essentially, that's what the social distancing is. It's the situation that is being created for you as light workers and empaths to be able to give to yourself. It's a gift. It is a gift to distance yourself from other people's energies. Call back all the energies that you give away all day long to your boss, to your coworkers, to people in the grocery store that are irritated, that walk by you and they're bitching about this, and you take that energy on because you can feel it from them, and you take on the energy from just any public place. You're sensitive to other people's, and so you're giving your light to them. They're taking it from you because you are a more ascended person, and you then pick up little like debris of their energies, and it dampens yours, and it makes it harder for you to shine your light. This kind of isolation and this kind of distancing is a gift for you to be able to sit back and replenish yourself. It's like a vacation for empaths to recharge their energy. Because right now, what we need to do is after all of that is built back up again, and after you've released whatever it is that you need to release, we are going to be directing that energy in the places where it needs to go. Specifically, in a more saturated way, without having little bits of it being given away on a daily basis. It's like a gift.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's as soon as you turn your energy back inside, it's like a generator, and you just get you're balanced. You don't have to work so hard. It's when you start giving it away that you can become out of balance. So it's getting your generator. At the end of the day, we're no good if we're not okay. I mean, if we're not running at full capacity, then as much as we try and help somebody else, we're not doing that to the best of our ability.
Right.
So each and every one of us are the center of our universe, and we have to remember that. So we have to come first. And people might say that's selfish, but just with your children, you know what it's like when you're tired or you haven't had much sleep. You're not the same. You don't hold that space. We all slip, and we're like more snappy and crabby with them because we're not looking after ourselves.
Right.
So we have to come first.
Right. Right. And when we're in a state of that, we open ourselves up to lower vibrational energies attaching to us, because that's the energy that we're allowing ourselves to be in. A depleted, tired, energetically depleted way of being opens you up to very low vibrational things, and you are leaving yourself open to being in triggered trauma energy more often. And so then you are creating the vibration of that and the reaction of that in the people around you too, including your kids. That's when it usually comes out, is with the kids. So what they were telling me and what I was getting today was the purging of this trauma energy, and all the work that we've been doing on trauma work in the last however long it's been for you. For me, it's been about like 8 months, 9 months, something like that. It's prepared us to act and react from a place of awareness and love. So when we are in that trigger energy, we have enough awareness to know this is not my normal energy. Why am I all of a sudden feeling angry or whatever it is? This is definitely connected to something that I've been working on. Something is coming up from the past to make me react this way. Just having the awareness of that allows us to shine our light on the fact that this is not our energy right now, so that we can react in a way that comes from love for ourselves, love for the people around us, and be able to shine that out. If it could just be a step as small as taking a step back, just saying, I need to distance myself right now because I'm very tired and I'm acting in a way that is, feels like trauma energy, feels like trigger energy. We can do that and not act from a place of fear. And I say trigger, it really is just the the easiest way to say it, because I feel like most people, when I say triggered energy, they know exactly what that is. Immediately they have a reaction to it, and it's this tense, angry, underlying, rage-filled kind of reaction. And it comes from fear. It's fight or flight, the trauma response. We've been gearing up for this. It's been like a training ritual for us. We've been triggered over and over and over and over and over again. And I have started leaning into the fact that I've been mirroring that to people that watch my videos and clients that I work with, that I am meant to trigger people. I am meant to mirror those things for them. And I don't have the guilt and fear of triggering them anymore, because I shifted my perspective and I transmuted the energy of trigger to launching. And we've talked about that on the channel before, switching your perspective to using the trigger as a launching point for detaching yourself from the trauma victim energy into what it is that lies ahead for us. We are able to transmute the energy of that. It's that little shift that's happening all around us right now. That kind of alchemy is what we have been gearing up for. The whole world is in the middle of a massive trigger right now. Everyone is triggered. They're telling me, like, the twin flames will recognize this. If I look at you in your face and I say, he's not your twin, that creates this feeling in your gut of, who the fuck are you? You can't say that. You don't know that. It's a fear reaction. It makes you block, and it makes you protect and get into the mode of fighting back. It's fight or flight. There's a reason that you get into the energy of that. And there's a reason, and I only say that to have them resonate with what that trigger energy is that I'm talking about. That's the most resonant for people on the journey. The world is in that fear energy right now, and it's collective, and it feeds off of each other. When I said that on my channel, I lost a lot of people. I lost a lot of subscribers. A lot of people fed into the fear energy and said, oh no, nope, I am not connecting with this woman anymore. And I fed that too, because I had guilt and I had shame attached to the fact that I knew I was triggering people. I released that fear program and I said, I'm going to trigger you now. Ready? Let's go. And let's launch. Because I don't care about the word trigger anymore. I care about launching. So the whole world is in their fear trigger program. We are now recognizing it and getting ourselves into our launch program so that we can balance that energy out. We're going to shine the light on it. We're going to take advantage of, this is not a dire situation. That's the way I choose to see it. This is a gift. Right?
Yeah, very much like you say. It's how you perceive it, isn't it? Yes, it's worrying. It's more the overload on the medical side of things that is causing it. It's a flu. At the end of the day, it's a flu. It's just spreading at a much faster rate.
Right. That's what makes it serious.
Yeah, yes. And that's what makes it more serious, is because it's overwhelming the emergency services.
Right.
So that's why it's being stemmed. But at the same time, what it's doing for the collective, so just those who possibly unawakened, is it's making them bring perspective back on their life. Who cares about work when people are dying, and you want to protect your family? That's what's most important. It's drawing your energy back from all that shit that controls us in the matrix. It's the control programs are breaking down. That's what's happening. And right. Obviously, when people stop going to work, then it's going to have an economy knock on and things like that. So it's going to put strain on the systems that we all, as light workers, would know is going to be broken down. So it's actually this is the start of the process of breaking down, so it can be rebuilt in a much better and healthier way.
Right. We have the choice to attach to the fear side of it, the darker, heavier energy of it, and say, well, but wait a minute. I mean, we all need money. So if we're not going to work, what are we going to do about money? There's that logical 3D fear attachment that a lot of us are just like, I mean, that's a very real thing. It's a 3D thing. Or we can attach to the launch side of it and say, we have known that there has been a plan for a breakdown of the monetary system and reliance on the power of money to control everything. We have known that's been coming. What binds the two and what helps to balance it is trust. Trust and love. That really is all you can do, is trust that we know that everything happens for a reason. Is this a media-based fear-mongering scare tactic? Is it creating an environment of fear? Maybe. But it could also be, we can take that collective resonance. So there's a collective of people who are resonating with that fear and with that darkness. They have united together in a fear response. We can take that and transmute that into collective resonance of leaning into the light. If we can take those people and give them a perspective that is filled with light and understanding and awareness, and say, yeah, but what if this situation is the reason for that? What if we don't need to fear it, we just lean into it, and we're all not prisoners in our homes. We get to have a 2-week vacation that we didn't plan on. We get to enjoy our children personally and get to know them in a way that we haven't probably ever. What if we get to do this? What if we look at our everyday now moment and say, what am I going to do with all this time on my hands? And shine the light of that on, and that the power of that energy on this collective of people who have been bound together. It's perfect. They're all in one place. Let's go get them. Let's go get them and free them. That's what we as light workers, I think, are doing right now.
The unawakened are still in the rat race, so they don't have time. They probably, most of them don't even know what they like to do with their
right.
End. So if they are locked away for a month, they're going to remember who they were,
right? Who
they used to be, what dreams they used to have, what they wanted. So it's going to make them reach for their higher self.
Without allowing that heavier, dense energy to play its role, we wouldn't have such a big opportunity to play such a big role on our side. Now, all we have to do is collectively bind together and unite on our side. It's always going to come through. We just have to surrender and allow that to be unfolding the way that it's unfolding without leaning into and attaching to the fear that they have going on. It's so hard for us because we're empaths and we can feel the energy of that. That combined resonance, that united fear resonance pulls and draws at us because we can feel the energy of that. That's when we all come together and say, that's not your energy. We can feel the fear of that and we want to be there for them, but they are not us right now. We are meant to shine the light on them and one at a time, bring them over to the light side. Bring them to the light.
It's almost like dimension, in a different dimension. We're holding a higher dimension.
Yeah.
And they're down here, and what's happening for them is helping them to awaken to our dimension. And we're here waiting for them to help them journey up with us.
Right.
So it's all part of that.
That's another thing that I was getting to. That these people, because it's unprecedented. Well, not unprecedented because it's happened before, but we're in a different time period now where systems that they used back in 1918 when they had that outbreak, it's outdated. So now we're dealing with the collective energy that we have going on right now, and people are looking for answers. They're wide open for answers. They're like, okay, we're being forced now into this situation where we have to distance ourselves to help to eradicate that, what do we do now? Like, how do we process this? They're wide open for a perspective that is going to help give them hope. That's what they want. They want hope, and they want light, and they want clarity, and they need beauty and love in their lives. One tiny shift in their perspective can ignite these activations within them that awaken them. This is our opportunity to help awaken even more people all at once. It's so beautiful. I love it. The more we do that intentionally, the more we shine our light intentionally in this environment of fear, the more people are waking up, the more the light codes are being in a saturated way sent over to this group of people. That's what we're doing in gearing up and calling back our energy, is being able to keep it in a more saturated way to absorb the light codes that are coming in to support what is happening right now. Right?
Yeah, very much.
That felt really good.
Yeah, it was good.
I have all of these notes from earlier when I was getting ready for this, and I was drying my hair, and I would stop, and all of a sudden I had to type some stuff in. It's just one download right after another. The one thing that they told me from the beginning was that this is it's a fear program. It was a dormant fear program in our root chakras that was activated by this virus, as within, so without. So it got activated in order for a huge shift to happen. Something shifted, and the world is like, okay, now we're ready. This new earth is like ready to go. I've done all the preparations. I'm ready to go. Let's kick into high gear. And it has activated a dormant fear program that breeds and mutates at a very, very, very fast rate. You can see how quickly the fear turns into mass hysteria and fear. It's because of that program. So we're going to do a root chakra healing. We're going to do it as an extended. The link for the healing is going to be in the box below. It's over at Vimeo. If we were to do, just as an example, on my channel, a chakra restoration is $55 for a personal distance chakra healing. We're going to do a chakra healing, root chakra, for you guys over on Vimeo for $888. So it's an amazing way to, because we are a collective of light workers come together, it is a personal chakra healing. We're going to do that after this. I just wanted to mention that so that you can click on the link below if you wanted to. Chakra alignment. Constant chakra alignment is very, very important for you right now. You can come back to the video as often as you want to, as often as you feel you need to. I think that I'm going to be offering healings for each one of the chakras leading up also. I think I'm going to keep posting one right after another on Vimeo. So if you're not members over there, when you go over there, just join, follow my page over there, whatever it is. So what should we be doing right now as light workers? What do they need to be leaning into, and what is the process right now that we need to be doing?
Okay, the most important thing as light workers we need to be doing at the moment is really self-love for ourselves. Like I said, for our physical body, for our spiritual body, and for our mind. So it's keeping our mindfulness practice up. It's meditating as much as we can, holding our vision for New Earth. This is why we're here. The Twin Flame Collective, we have come here to anchor, well, not just us, but those on the journey, are here to anchor unconditional love on the planet. Just hold that, and we just, and the only way you can do that is by having that unconditional love for yourself. Because when you hold that for yourself, you just radiate. And so we just need to just keep coming back to us, pulling our energy back, keeping spiritual hygiene, like I said, energy core cutting every day. Any chakra balancing, Reiki self-healings, just keeping yourself topped up. And also, sorry. Also, the physical side that during retrogrades and things like that we tend to neglect is obviously eating healthily and looking after our physical body as well, because we are physical human beings.
Right.
And we have to remember that.
Right. Eating high vibrational foods, paying attention to the energy that we're putting into our body and processing, because the denser, heavier, starchy things that we're putting into our bodies, the harder we have to work to process those, the energy.
It's also our what I call energetic diet. Like, what are we ingesting? What are we watching? Are we watching films about death and murder? I mean, if we're watching these sort of things, that brings that energy into our filters. Just being mindful of every aspect, really,
right.
of what you're doing.
Right. Now is the perfect time to do that. So another thing that we can be doing is leaning into, as much as we can, taking advantage of the social distancing. It gives us the opportunity to take more of that time for ourselves and to focus on those things and to research the different types of self-care that you could be doing for yourself, and do it. And you're in your home with your kids too. If you have kids, have them do it with you too. Start teaching them the way to be in this high vibrational energy too, and how to take care of themselves, because it's important for them to be managing their energy too.
Do online yoga courses or weight training or whatever with the kids, with baked bean cans, whatever it needs, but it's fun. Kids love that sort of thing, but you're doing it for yourself as well, and you're moving, you're getting your energy flowing, you're holding your high vibes. It's really important.
Yes.
You get your body moving, singing, dancing, wherever it is for you. And music's amazing for high vibes, as long as you're listening to the right music. Sometimes it can have the opposite effect, so even mindful of that. Maybe not having a radio station that just hits you with whatever it wants. You get to choose what you let in, so you choose what you're listening to, and you know how it resonates with you and what it does to your energetics. I'm an old school raver, so I'm dance music and very upbeat, and I don't think there's many light workers that don't have a little like for the old dance music. A lot of it has a spiritual undertone to it.
Nature, getting out into nature, obviously, grounding yourself. This kind of social distancing doesn't have to be prison. You can still get out in nature and go places. Go walk on the beach, absorb the energy from a beach somewhere. Go for a hike, go into the woods, touch every single tree that you pass by, absorb the energy and transfer the energy back. The earth is going through all of this too. The earth is going through this balancing, and being out there, it's no coincidence that this is happening right coming into the spring, or on the other side of the world in the fall, where we're able to now get outside and still be in touch with nature more than we ever have before. We have the opportunity to do that right now with all of this time on our hands. It's so important for us as empaths.
Yeah, for very much, like I say, it's connecting with the earth is massive for us. So that grounding energy, like I say, we sometimes on this journey we forget our physical aspect, or we neglect our physical aspect, and obviously grounding is very important. Whenever you're feeling dense, I always like to climb. So I like hiking, but I like to go up somewhere high, get above it, so you can see things from that higher perspective, or that bird's eye view. So for me, getting to higher ground, there's no coincidence that in the Bible a lot of it was always up mountains and things like that, because you get above the energy, and you can just go up there, and the energy you'll feel on higher ground is a lot lighter than it is down on the ground in amongst the troops, I say. So
there's something too about fresh air. Air is like a natural disinfectant. Breathing that in, making sure that you're breathing deeper in more intentional ways, to breathing into different spaces of your body, but breathing in fresh air is really, really important right now for clearing out energies and for rejuvenating your system, oxygenating your body in a really pure.
I mean, this flu is a respiratory thing. So that's where it's hitting. There's no, we've all been meditating and we've been practicing with breath for this reason, to strengthen our physical bodies. We don't realize the preparation. Everything we've done is for this and what's to come.
Yeah, we've been in training. Okay. One of the other things I have on here is only tapping into the world collective energy as much as you need to just get a gauge on what is going on, what is the reflection of the energy here look like, and what kind of needs balancing, and taking that in as a lesson for yourself in what needs balancing, and then disconnecting from that world collective energy again. Not tapping into the fear so much that you start to, it starts to draw you in like a tractor beam. Stop looking at every single one of the posts. Everyone's talking about it right now. Everyone has something to say about it. Choose a reader or a couple of readers or guides that you trust, that you follow, and check in every once in a while to find out what they have going on. And then make sure that you're disconnecting from the level of discussion and the need for information and answers and guidance and oh my God, and the negative take on it, and the aspect of just this eye rolling, like, why is everybody reacting this way? And just the overwhelm gets to be too much. We have to consciously disconnect from it and say, okay, I've gotten the information that I need. It's going to connect you with the universe in whatever way it needs to, but then disconnect from it and say, okay, that's all I needed. This is how I'm going to move forward now. And this is what I need to be doing, and balance that out for yourself.
Yeah, it's basically just not letting yourself be pulled into the lower dimensional energies now. We need to stay up here. That's the only way we're going to help them to come up as well. We have to stay in this dimension, and then we can guide them. But if we keep dipping in and getting too attached to here, we'll be back in there with them, and then we'll get lost again. So it's very important to it almost consciously. Right, I'm not gonna find out anything about what's going on outside for 3 days, and right, I need to know now. Just find out what's going on. Okay, Archangel Michael, protect me as I go in to this lower dimension. Just to extract the information. He can have an energetic bungee for you. So you're dipping into this, but boom, and you're back out again. So you've got what you need. You're back out. You were protected. Do your work. It's gone, and it keeps you safe.
I think that's an important tip: is making sure to be in a grounded space, to meditate, to call in the energy of Archangel Michael before you tap into that collective. To get updates or whatever it is, make sure that you are protected and shielded ahead of time. That way, like the bungee, you'll know when it's time to come back and say, okay, I'm not attached to it either. I'm just looking at it. It's like the mountain reference. You're just seeing it from a higher perspective, saying, okay, this is what we've got going on. Now I can get back to work over here again. And being aware of what is your energy. That's how we really get in touch with what our energy is, so that we can recognize when we are tapped into someone else's energy or that collective energy, that heavy vibration or whatever. That's how we really need to understand what is ours and not attached to what is someone else's. When we recognize that we have someone else's energy on us, that's when the spiritual hygiene really comes into play, and dipping into our bag of tools to clear that out and get ourselves back to that zero space again. Archangel Michael is really, really an important reference for us to be able to just tap into.
Feeling and knowing that you're safe is the most important thing. So as soon as you let fear in, you're in trouble. So that's why it's so important. When you can lean in. I'm very lucky from when I first woke up. Archangel Michael was with me from the beginning. He was always surrounding me from the beginning. So I have built such a relationship with him. I don't have fear in some ways. So it's not, I have that much faith that I don't fear. So I can dip. Sometimes I do dip too far into things, but as soon as I realise, I'm bang, and I'm straight back up. energetically. So it's it makes you aware of that as well.
You have a really great video on your YouTube channel. His YouTube channel, if you guys don't know already, is Light Side Energy Healing. I'll put a link for that. I think there is a link for that in the box below already. But invoking the energy of Archangel Michael, he has a guided meditation that he put on there. It's a really powerful, it's a short meditation too. It's only like 15 minutes, I think, to really activate the energy of Archangel Michael within you, that you can call on him. And we work with them all the time, but it's more bringing them into you so that you are protected all the time anyway, but you're able to invoke the energy and call up that energy in a more saturated way, I think.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
So go over that meditation.
Yeah, I'm also going to be doing an energetic cleanse through your whole system that I'm going to do as a meditation just to help keep your vibes up. That's going to be using Archangel Raphael, Metatron, and it will basically be just calling energies up and down just to keep you in a high vibrational source. One due to do every morning and every night just to keep people lifted.
I like to do that. Okay, so another thing that we can do, be in communication with other light workers that you resonate with. It's important. It's asking for help, offering your services when you are in the energy to be able to offer that to help support the other light workers. We have collectives of people who are looking to us for guidance and absorbing our light because they're on our timeline and we are meant to guide these people. Each of the light workers, we need to band together in order to be able to hold each other up and support and hold space for each other. And it's like I always say, the when geese fly in the V, when one of the geese is strong, they fly in the front until they get tired, and then another one comes to the front, and then another one comes to the front. We just need to be continuously carving this path and helping each other the entire time. Sorry, go ahead.
So it's part of that receiving, like you say. A lot of us healers, because we're all healers, we all have that ability. Even if you don't think you are. We all able to do it. We all do it in our own different ways, but we carry that innate ability inside us. But it's that receiving, it's that asking. That's the hardest part of this. Is receiving it from. I'm terrible for it. Receiving has been my hardest to do. Ask Karen. That's like, but I'm learning now that I need. It's. How can I receive anything if I don't receive? And it works in all aspects of your life.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. Is that I just got a message on my phone. I wanted to see if it applied. It kind of does. Not just receiving it. It's not that it's hard for you to receive. That's not the hardest thing for you to do. It's you asking for help.
Yeah.
Like actually saying, I'm feeling a little low, or there's something in my field, or I just need your sight, or whatever it is. I need your help. That's the hardest thing for you. And I think that that's important for those people that are listening, because this is coming from divine masculine energy. So understanding something about that kind of distortion when it comes to masculine energy helps you to understand that about yourself, because there's a part of you that feels unstable or unsafe or untrusting or I don't know what it is about within your own masculine energy that stops you from asking for help. Or
masculine energy is taught to be protective, strong, and to not be overly emotional. So it's all sometimes it's
a light worker.
Yeah. You know. So sometimes it's counterproductive for your self-love, because you're giving all the time, and if you're not receiving, then you're depleting yourself. And we all have that in us. So it's leaning into our feminine side when we're not feeling right, and saying, do you know what, I need something, and that's okay. Men, women, whatever, I need some love. Give me some love, Karen. Literally, and asking rather than, that's the way of doing it.
And sometimes it's really just saying, I need something. I don't know what it is. I need to I need to give the responsibility of that to you so that I can just sit back and somehow receive. Surrendering to that is really important.
Very much. So, connecting with other groups, if healing shares, things like that, if you can go to that. Group meditations, there's a lot of meditations for the earth at the moment, and there's a lot planned for healing this fear program. I think they're actually trying to do a world Lightworker meditation on 4th of April. So look out for that. That's on social media and things like that. If I can get the link, we'll try and attach it to this video so you can see it. Because the more of us we can get together at one time, the more we magnify. Like I say, one of us can do amazing work. We our light's enough to affect, say, 1,000 people. So if you get us together and we magnify that by joining together all at once, then we'll have a real effect on everybody.
Speaking of that, I think that there's another world meditation. I can't remember what the hashtag is called, but Charlotte over at Happy Twins 1111. If you guys don't already follow her page, please go over and follow her. She's amazing. She just posted something on her community tab the other day that was calling for that group meditation. She has one lined up, and she's calling for other light workers who have channels or pages or whatever to advertise it for themselves too, and to come together into I think it's a group meditation. I think it's like a world.
So it's about banding together. Our energies are magnified as a group. If you've ever been to a group healing or a group share and you link hands in the energy you can build once you link with other people, it's phenomenal. Like you say, and you're channeling in so much, bringing in so much more divine light down and light beings, and it spreads a lot further.
Yeah.
So it's leaning in and doing the work together now, helping each other all the way.
Our biggest power right now is transmuting energy, and transmuting is shifting it. And we're really taking it from the dark, from the fear places to the light, to feeling of safety and love. That's what we're doing. Alchemically, we are transmuting things. Magically, we are shifting those things. And we've been gearing up for how to do that for a long time now. Chakra alignment is so important for drawing on your ability to do that. Continuously now making sure that your chakras are in alignment, constantly taking stock on where am I out of alignment, what kind of disconnect do I have right now. Get in touch with your body too. I had a lot of pressure in my chest area, and I knew it was my heart chakra the other day. What is out of alignment in my heart chakra? It's in connection with the collective right now too, so doing energy work in order to get that cleared out. If I don't know how to do it, I call on one of my friends and say, what is it that I have going on? I said, when you get a chance, could you check in on my heart chakra and tell me what kind of blockage is there, because I don't see it right now and I'm being guided to reach out for help. That chakra alignment is very, very important because it's the generator for pure light rainbow prism energy. That is, when it is a pure prism, is like diamond energy. It's pure white light. And when you are able to get that energy moving, that is the generator for alchemical, magical energy and manifestation and transmutation. We need to be in the energy of that more and more to be able to transmute these heavy energies and to shine the light of that. The more that we do that together, the easier it is. But constantly checking in on your chakras is going to be really important. If you don't know how to do that, let's get in touch with us. Let's do a guidance session with either one of us, and we can help you guys to understand how to do that, how to tap into it, and how to keep that into alignment.
So you don't have to have any energy healing background. I've been given different activations from the powers that be, so I can introduce you via a one-to-one just to basic energy healing for yourself, just basic hands-on, using symbols that I've been given from the angels, shall we say, that don't fit into a structured modality. We all channel this energy, and like I say, I can share this. I'm happy to share this in a one-to-one session, and then you can start using that on family members and things like that, and having that ripple effect. So if you're interested in that and you're not sure how to do it, book a one-to-one with me. We'll and I'll explain everything to you and demonstrate.
You can do that by going to his website. The information for that is in the box below, or it's lightsideenergyhealing.com.
Thank you.
Okay, you had gotten that channeled message that you wrote down. Did we cover a lot of it, or is there something from it that you wanted to read before?
It's just I got a channeled message from the Galactic Federation from of Light, and it's they just wanted to praise you. We've been doing such hard work, all of you out there. You've followed your soul, in your heart, your divine nature, and what we're doing is bringing about this change. We are birthing this new reality, and yes, we're supported by the higher realms, but we're the ground crew and we're doing this work, and they're so proud. We agreed to come here at this time for this work, and we are doing an amazing job, and I just want you to remember that, and they appreciate it, and remember why we're really here, what we're doing. It's for the collective, it's for humanity as a species. It's not about us individually, on which sometimes we get caught up in on these journeys. We are evolving consciousness and the state of the planet.
I think one of the things that I'm getting as you're saying that too is the best way to be of service to the collective and to the world is to be of service to ourselves. And you say that it's not about us individually, it's about the collective, because we are all connected in that way. We're all one. So when we take the time to really take care of ourselves and not put out energy that is depleted, or when we take the time to honor ourselves and to praise ourselves and to take care of ourselves and to take care of our energy, sometimes that's enough to ripple out and be of service to the collective. Sometimes we don't actively have to do anything except take care of ourselves and to hold ourselves in that light.
It's got to be love. That's it. Hold that for yourself. Right. You're doing the job. It's that simple. That is our overall mission, is that. And so a lot of people get pulled into what was my purpose. You are your purpose. You're already doing it. So don't get too lost in it. Like I say, just hold yourself in that love, and you're doing all you need to do and all you agreed to come here to do. Big one.
All right, so we're going to go on and we are going to do the root chakra healing. Like I said, that is going to be on the extended. The link for that is in the box below. It's over on Vimeo. Please take advantage of it. Please go over and invest in yourself, invest in the collective, use it as many times as you need to, forward it if you can. I already have a feeling that it's going to be very cleansing. The reason that we're doing the root chakra is because the fear programming, the basis of it is there. It's rewiring your entire system. And the blockage that's there gets in the way of a flow of grounded earth, pure energy from Mother Gaia filtering through all of your other chakras. It gets in the way of everything else. It's so important to clear that out right now as your home base. This is where we start. This is where we have a reboot. We need a reboot in the root chakra in order to be able to be.
It's letting go of the old. So part of it, obviously, we'll be doing the healing together. I'll be using the Atlantean energy to cut away all the old timelines. I'm going to cut away the past. You start from now. That's what they say. This is the beginning. Yep. Everything preparation for now.
Right now. This now moment.
That's the one.
Right now.
That's it.
All right. If you guys have any questions, get in touch with us. Please make sure to comment in the comment box below. Make sure that you hit like, make sure that you hit share, make sure that we are getting the messages out, make sure you guys are talking to each other and communicating and connecting. I also wanted to remind you guys that, I don't know if you've seen or not, but I started a Facebook group. It's called the Hawk's Nest for Lightworkers. I'm going to put the link for that in the box below too. It is a private group, so you do need the link to be able to go over there. But if you're a light worker and you're looking for that kind of supportive environment, please go over and join over there. We already have such a great, amazing group of people. Anything else?
No, something. It's just the whole Talks Less set up just as a way for us to keep our vibes high, you know, propping up, and just helping each other support that sort of network, like-minded people, and that's what we need at the moment.
It's a really great space to be able to reach out to each other too, for light workers to be able to say, I need some help. What can we do? I also am ready to start being more of service to people. I have these people coming to me with questions, and how should I put this together, and how should I present this, or what should I be doing right now? And light workers looking for answers for people that are looking for answers from them. It's a really great place of reference and sacred space. And yeah, go over and join that, and talk to you guys soon.